that we normally observe in a chemical change. Yes.
Example?
Like a chemical reaction along with the chemical reaction is characterized by some other products also, some other things also, apart from the production of new substances. Yes.
I didn't understand.
No, my question is, in a chemical reaction, what we have done, a new substance is formed. And that is one of the property of a chemical change. But apart from formation of a new substance, what are the other things with which a chemical reaction is accompanied with? Like they can be evolution of heat, change in color, formation of bubbles, right? Getting it? So these are some of the other changes that may occur along with the formation of a new substance. Like a new substance is formed, that is obvious. But some other observations to be made were as follows. Like in the case of the rusting of iron, a new substance is formed, that is obvious, but the color is also changed here now, right? When you burn something, a new substance is formed, but as a result of the burning of this wood, it gives off heat and light also. So we had the following changes that is always accompanied by any or all of the above, all of the following here. Like they could be release or absorption of heat. They can be production of sound. Like when we add potassium in water or quicklime in water, sound is produced. Change in the color of the substance, change in smell of the substance. There could be formation of gas and even formation of some solid as a residue. These were the changes. Then we are learning about the formation of the rust. So iron will be reacting with which components to form rust?
Oxygen and water.
Oxygen and water. What are the different ways to prevent the iron from rusting? Yes.
You can, when you paint, rusting.
By painting, okay, and Razan? Alloy formation?
Yeah, alloy formation.
Alloy formation, and then galvanization, right?
Galvanization.
Okay. We learned about like stainless steel is an alloy which is formed by mixing iron iron ore with so many other things like iron, nickel, chromium. When these things are mixed, then stainless steel is formed. Getting it?
Yes.
Huh? You understood how stainless steel is formed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Aman is here in the class. Yes, Aman, how are you? Where have you been?
Sir, my half yearly were going on, so sir, I haven't been able to attend those classes recently.
That I observe you have been absent. Your exam is going on, like it's on 9th of September now.
Yes, sir.
Your science paper. Okay. So for you, like nutrition in plants, nutrition in animal, it was done. In acid, bases, and salts, that chapter was also done. But in some of the classes, I think you were absent.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes.
can you, sir, will you be free tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning. Okay, I will be available.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I might need an extra class tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I will let the team know about that. They will schedule a class. Okay. Right now, we are doing the chapter physical and chemical changes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this chapter is going on. So we were learning about the chemical change, and here we did learn about some of the ways how like iron can be prevented from rusting. So one of the way is by alloy formation. So alloy, we know that alloys are basically mixtures of metals and a non-metal, or it could be two non-metals. Basically, like for example, steel. Steel is an alloy because it is a mixture of iron with carbon, with a nickel, with zinc, not zinc, with chromium and some manganese. So when different things are mixed, so thereby iron is made here. I mean to say steel is made here. Got the thing now. Many times this question can be asked in the exam, like what is the steel made out of? So we see that steel is made by combining iron with nickel, chromium, manganese, and carbon. That is the thing. Today we are going to learn about some other interesting things, like a chemical reactions that we can observe in our daily life. For example, there are some natural chemical changes in which humans don't have any intervention, but there are some man-made chemical changes also, which is occurring due to the action of human beings. Okay, now getting it. Aman, since you are going, your exam is on 9th of September now, so I am
Yes.
going to provide some questions in the chat box to you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Since you are there in the class, so I also would like to give
Mm.
some exercise work to you. Okay. So I will be providing some question in the chat box. It's in the class. So you do that, and before the class, upload that or send it to the team. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So like you are having the chapter nutrition in plants and nutrition in animals now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from the first two chapters, I will be giving you some questions to do. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you please send it in the chat box?
Just give me a moment. Okay.
Sir,
Meanwhile,
sir, I have to solve it. Sir, I have to write the answers only and send it to our
yeah,
team.
you have to write the
Okay,
answers in a sheet of paper and then you have to send it to the team. Okay.
sir.
Yes. Rizan. So there are some natural chemical changes and there are some some man-made chemical changes. Like we have the example of respiration or photosynthesis. So they are also a chemical change. How is respiration a chemical change? We are going to learn about that. But first of all, do let me know what do you mean by respiration. While I'm sending the question to Aman, just tell me about this. Yes, Razan. What do you think of
Sir,
this? What do you think respiration is? What is respiration basically? Mm-hmm. Ever learned of this topic before?
yes.
So like the food that we are taking in, hmm? The food that we take in, what happens to that food when it goes to the blood and when it goes to the cells in our body? There the food is finally broken down.
Yes.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Aman.
I can tell, sir, what is respiration.
Sure, go on.
Sir, respiration is the process, sir, by which living things take
Mm-hmm.
in oxygen and release carbon dioxide, so CO2.
So that is breathing. That what you have defined, that is breathing. Respiration is basically the
Sir, breathing is only a part of respiration, sir. So respiration
exactly.
is a whole other,
Mm-hmm.
sir, uh, uh, process.
Exactly. Like here in
We can also
respiration.
say, sir,
Mm-hmm.
organisms create energy by exchanging the
Basically, it is the process by which the food is broken down in our cells, and due to the breakdown of the food, energy is given out. Okay, na? And that energy, we utilize that energy to carry out every function. Like for example, the cells of the heart. For the functioning of the cells of the heart, for the heart to function, all its cells require energy. The heart requires energy, so that it will be getting by breaking down the food. So no matter what cell we take in our body, every cell requires energy. So what happens, the food that we consuming, let's say it contains glucose. So after the food has been completely digested in our body, that food is absorbed by the blood now. The food is absorbed by the villi present in the small intestine, right, Tarzan and Aman?
Yes, sir.
Right. And then that blood will be distributing the food to each and every cell in our body. It gets distributed to each and every cell. So from there, the cell will be taking up that food, and in the presence of oxygen, that cell will be breaking down that food, and the energy that will be released, it will be utilized to carry out its function. That is the thing. Okay. So here what happens now? Glucose has been broken down. Like glucose is, it's C6H12O6. This is the chemical formula of glucose. That is oxygen. So in the process, carbon dioxide plus water is formed. So what we're seeing, that the original product we had was glucose and oxygen. So both of them reacted to give out carbon dioxide and water. So isn't a new substance formed here? Right? New substances are formed. And what do we know? Like whenever a new substance is formed, that is the characteristics of a chemical change, right? Got this now? So that is the thing. Hope you guys have got the first thing. Okay. Let me just share the question. Then, meanwhile, I'm giving the question. You define what is photosynthesis, Razan.
Photosynthesis is
Mm-hmm.
So can I tell?
No, no, let her answer. You, meanwhile, you do this thing which I'm sharing you.
photosynthesis is when plants
Just repeat again. Mm-hmm.
photosynthesis is when like plants produce food, and during the process of photosynthesis, oxygen is released and animals
Okay, animals take up that food. Razan, basically, repeat
yes,
again. Repeat again. Define photosynthesis once again.
basically like plants produce food. Um,
Plants take in raw materials from the environment. Like they do take carbon dioxide from the air. Aman, I have sent you the picture of the questions. You have to do this much only. I have given
Yes,
you
yes, sir.
questions
I got it. I got it, sir.
from the first chapter only, because in 1 hour it won't be possible to do both the chapter. So do this one, okay? So plants will be taking up the carbon dioxide gas and the water, and in the presence of sunlight, they will be preparing the food in the form of carbohydrate and also gives out oxygen. So here plants are taking carbon dioxide, which is CO2. That is the chemical formula of carbon dioxide. Water is H2O. That is water. And in the by utilizing the sun's light energy, they prepare the carbohydrate. That is glucose. Glucose is a type of carbohydrate, right? Glucose is a type of carbohydrate. C6H12O6. And here you have oxygen. So these were the products that were undergoing the reaction, and this is the product, this is the final output of the result. So you guys think of it that you have carbon dioxide here plus water. They are reacting to produce the product, produce the food, that is glucose plus oxygen is produced here. So aren't the products different here? New products are formed, right, Razan?
yes,
Getting it now. So the new product is formed. That's why photosynthesis is also considered a chemical change. And what kind of chemical change it is? It's a natural chemical change. Okay, now it's a natural chemical change. In the case of respiration, this will be happening in every living organism. Okay, now most of the organism will be doing the process of respiration in presence of oxygen, but there are some organisms like some bacteria called as anaerobic bacteria, anaerobic bacteria that can perform the process of respiration in absence of oxygen. So they can do respiration in absence of oxygen. Got the thing now?
yes.
So these are some two chemical changes, natural chemical changes that we observe on a day-to-day basis. Okay, now? That is the thing here. Respiration and then photosynthesis. How is that two different? It is important to know. Okay, have you understood how respiration and photosynthesis are different? Hmm? It's the like talking about the photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is the process of converting the light energy into this chemical energy. Basically, like here, the compounds are being converted into carbohydrate, like carbon dioxide and water in the presence of light energy is being converted into this chemical energy, that is glucose, also releases the oxygen, right? But in the case of respiration, what we are seeing that it's the process by which living organism converts the converts the food into energy to utilize, to use it in the cells, right now. And what do we call those organisms that are capable of performing photosynthesis? Do we call them autotrophs?
Yes.
Sir, autotrophs, sir, the organisms which can create their own food by their own food are called autotrophs. And so there are only one kind of organism.
Green plants.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Then we have man-made chemical changes. So man also brings about many chemical changes for their use in everyday life. Like some of them are given as follows, like combustion of fuel, right? Combustion here basically refers to burning. Okay, na combustion is a word that means burning of something. Okay. Or for example, you are cleaning some tile, cleaning of the tile with dilute hydrochloric acid. Like let's say in the kitchens, if the acid accumulates so much of dirt in it that it is hard to clean it with normal cleaner. Okay. Then we have to use some acids. Okay, na? Then you have to use some acid in order to clean that dirt of the tiles. Or for softening of the hard water, like if you ever happen to taste a water which is not filtered, which is not cleaned, like if you don't, if you drink water from the tap water directly, huh, or water from a well, so it will be hard water. Okay, na? But hard water can be softened using some chemicals. Okay, na? It can be softened using some chemicals. Like for example, we can use calcium hydroxide. This chemical can be used to clean the hard water and to make the hard water soft. Hmm. So there also, like we are using some chemical substances, like let's say like I said, I gave the example of calcium.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So not trying to disturb the class, sir, but
Uh-huh.
I want to ask for that. So you have given question number one part. So sir, I have to write the answers like this question number one part and the correct option.
You just have to write like this, question number one, whatever is the right answer, like this. Okay, now also
Okay,
write
sir.
like this is the first now, which is the, this is the MCQ. Okay.
Hmm.
After MCQ you have the fill in the blanks now. So
Yes,
that is
sir.
the second number. This is the first number. Then in the third number, you have the subjective questions.
Yes, sir.
Like that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mhm. Yeah. So like hard water can be softened. Okay, na? By addition of some chemical substances like calcium hydroxide, even ammonia can be added to make the hard water soft. Got the thing now. So there a reaction will be taking place, a new product will be formed. Got the thing now? Like that is also one such example of a chemical change. Apart from that, some other chemical changes we can count it, like cooking of the food, isn't it? Cooking of food is also a chemical change, right? Because a new product is formed and you can't get back the raw vegetables back once it has been cooked. So these are some of the man-made chemical changes that are brought up about by we humans in our daily life, in our everyday life. That is the thing. Have you understood what is hard water? Hmm?
Can you explain again?
Okay, okay. Let us take one such example, like in order to understand this. Okay, now let us say that you have taken a glass of water. You have taken two glasses of water. Okay, you have taken two glasses of water. If like if you were pouring the water in the glass A, like you were pouring the water in the glass A, if lots of bubble were formed, if lots of bubble were formed, so this is an indication that this is a soft water. This is soft water. Okay. But while if you were pouring the water in glass B, and if there were to be no bubbles, here bubbles were formed. But in the second glass, if there were to be no bubble formation, so that is an indication that it's a hard water. Getting it?
Yes.
So that is something which we can observe. But what does it exactly contain? Actually, the thing is now this hard water contains excess amount of magnesium and calcium in it. What does it contain? Excess amount of
Magnesium and calcium.
hmm, magnesium, calcium, and magnesium. That is why it is considered hard water. Right now, also, you would have observed that this will, like you would have seen, like in some buckets now, water will deposit a layer of lime or something on it. You would have seen that. Also, like, it will damage the skin surface also. It will lead to dry skin. Hmm? Like if someone takes a bath on a regular basis, someone is taking bath from hard water, it's obvious that his scalp is going to get damaged. It will become very dry. He might also experience hair fall. So it is important that if the water in your house is hard water, it contains excess amount of calcium and magnesium. So with the help of calcium hydroxide, that water should be treated. It will become soft, so it will be good for the skin and for the hair. Otherwise, it can lead to so many problems. Also, many times we observe that there's a deposition of layer in the bucket. Have you ever observed that, Razan? Like if you happen to live in an area and the water of that area is very hard now, so over some time there will be a deposition of a white layer on the buckets, on the inner surface of the bucket. Aman, you are from Delhi now, you might have observed this. Understood the thing now about hard water, Razan?
Yes.
So these are some of the chemical changes. Now, apart from those some common chemical changes, we have some other chemical changes. Like you have a burning of a magnesium strip. Okay, like you have a magnesium ribbon here. We have hold it with a pair of tong. Okay, now pair tong is a small tool with the help of which we can hold something. So we have held this magnesium ribbon above the burner, and what happens here? This magnesium ribbon, it will be vigorously reacting with the oxygen, and as a result, a white powder will be falling down, and we can correct it in a china dish like this. And the white powder like structure is uh, uh, that is stored here now, that is magnesium oxide. So what basically happens now, if you were to take a thin magnesium strip, magnesium, moments ago we were talking about magnesium. So magnesium is a metal. Okay, we can get, it is available in the market in the form of a ribbon or a strip. So what you have to do, we can get it, we have got it from the market. Clean the end which you are going to burn. Clean this end with the help of a sandpaper. Clean it.
Sir,
Yes.
the magnesium oxide is really bright in color, sir. I have read this. And sir, it also produces light. And
See,
sir, heat also.
see, brightness, no, like when it will be burning, so lots of a dazzling bright light is given off. Okay, na? When
Yes.
magnesium burns, it gives off a dazzling bright light. Magnesium powder is white in color. Magnesium oxide is white
Mm,
in color. Okay, na?
mm.
That is white in color. I guess I have one image of it. You'd get to see the real like a magnesium burning. Just look at this. Yeah, this one way. So what do you observe here? A bright, dazzling light is given off. Getting it now? A bright,
Yes.
dazzling light is given off here. Got the thing. So we have taken a small strip of a magnesium ribbon, clean one of its end with the sandpaper. So the question is why we have to clean it with the sandpaper? Because over the time, what might have happened? This magnesium would have reacted with the oxygen in the atmosphere and would have deposited a layer of magnesium oxide on it. What I'm saying that if the magnesium ribbon is left open in the air for so long, then this magnesium will start to react with the air. Okay, na? And it would have developed a layer of magnesium oxide on it. So thereby, in order to burn it properly, we need to scrape off that layer of magnesium oxide from it. Getting the point what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So let's say there's a layer of magnesium oxide that has developed over it. So the thing is that over time, magnesium reacts with oxygen from air and develops a layer of magnesium oxide. So that is the reason why it is important to clean it with a sandpaper so that we can remove that layer of magnesium oxide from it to burn it properly. Okay, so as we are burning it using a burner, so you can see a white dazzling light is given off. A white dazzling light is given off. A bright light is given off. That is one thing. Furthermore, when it is completely burned, you can see some powder like substances are falling down in this china dish. That is basically white magnesium. That is white powder. This is basically magnesium oxide. So the reaction that has occurred here is magnesium reacted with the oxygen. This magnesium reacted with the oxygen present in the atmosphere,
Oh.
and as a result, magnesium oxide was formed. That is MgO. Yes.
Sir, I'm asking, sir, the questions you sent in the chat box to me, sir. So in
Mm-hmm.
the question number 2, so
Mm-hmm.
there is an option, sir, E. Dot coli. So what is that?
In
E.
question
coli.
number, yeah, E. coli is a bacteria. Okay, E. coli is the bacteria that causes E. coli disease.
Mm.
Okay. Getting back to this thing. So have you understood this now? Like magnesium going on reacting with oxygen to give out magnesium oxide. What is the color of magnesium oxide? This is white in color. Okay. Now here, what is happening here now? Like magnesium, like what we are going to do now. Now we are going to check its nature. Yes, Razan.
No, I was writing the last one.
Oh, okay, okay. Write it down. Basically, we will check its nature. Like, is it a basic oxide or is it a acidic oxide?
Okay.
Now, basically, we know that now, like when when metal reacts with oxygen, it gives a basic oxide. Getting it? Like when a metal, like magnesium is a metal here, it is reacting with oxygen. So a oxide is formed. This we can call this as a metal oxide. So write down one more thing, that metal plus oxygen equals to metallic oxide. Metallic oxide is obtained. Got the thing now? Okay. That is the thing. And this is one of the example here. Okay. Also, metallic oxides are basic in nature. They are basic in nature. Getting it now?
Yes.
So another thing you'll write down, that you understood what do I mean to say by basic?
Yes.
Okay. But how do we check it? How are we going to detect it? Like if I were to check whether it is actually basic or not, see, anything when it is in its powder form, no, it will not be like we can't use any indicator to check its property. Like you can't use litmus paper on this dry magnesium oxide. Right now it is dry now. Although I know that this is a metallic oxide and metallic oxides are basic in nature. I have told this beforehand. But if I were to find it out, like how can I check whether it is an acidic oxide or basic oxide? I'm going to add some water in it. Okay, now. So what we have done, we have collected the ash of magnesium oxide, mixed it with a small amount of water. We have mixed it properly. Then upon dissolving in the water, a new substance, that is magnesium hydroxide, is formed. Notice, understand this thing here. Magnesium oxide is reacting with the water to give out magnesium hydroxide. Why we are doing this? Because we have to check the property of magnesium oxide, if it is acidic or basic in nature. But earlier it was in the powder form now. And if it is in powder form, we can't use any indicator to check it. Thereby water was added. So there's another chemical reaction that has taken place here, right? This is also a chemical reaction. Earlier, this was also a chemical reaction. This is also a chemical reaction. Okay. That is the thing here. Are you noting it down?
Yes.
I will give you time to note it down. Just let me complete this. Okay. Okay, Razan. Now we can check its property. Like, do tell me, like, how does litmus paper work? Hmm, Do
Um,
tell. Haha.
acid is for if you mix no,
Mm-hmm.
red plus blue.
Sir, can I tell?
No, if you
Just
mix
this.
blue plus red, you can verify it as acid, and if you do red plus blue, it will be basic.
No,
Sir,
red
can I tell?
plus, in not that manner, Razan. Yes, Aman.
Sir, litmus paper is a kind of paper, sir. We have to test it out, sir. Like, if we
Hmm.
want to test it out for acid, sir, we
Hmm.
will take some acid, sir, which is are in liquid form, and
Hmm.
sir, we will, sir, for
Ge-
example, if we take the red litmus paper and dip
Mhm.
it into it will turn blue if it's
Hmm.
acidic, and if it doesn't, that means it is basic. Sir, for basic, sir, the red litmus paper will be the same. And
You're
for
actually telling the
acidic,
opposite,
it will
actually.
turn to blue.
No, you mixed it. You're telling the opposite thing.
Also
Oh,
means that blue is for basic.
see, basically, if you have a given solution like this, okay, you are provided with a given solution, you don't know what solution is it. So if I were to dip, let us say कि I am dipping a blue litmus paper in it. Okay, both of you listen carefully here. This is the test. This is a solution. It's an unknown solution. I don't know what is it. If I were to dip a blue litmus, and if the color of the blue litmus paper after dipping here changes to red, so thereby it is indication that the given solution that I am testing, it is acidic in nature. Getting it, both
Yes,
of
sir.
you?
But sir, if it remains blue, sir, it means it is basic in nature.
That's a different thing. Okay, no, that's a different thing. But the main thing to be understood is that acids turn blue litmus to red. Let me write this. Acids turn blue litmus red. Both of you remember this. If you haven't already, just remember this fact. Okay. Now, if I were to take a red litmus paper, let us say कि you have taken a red litmus paper here, and if the color changes to blue, so then what is the what do we conclude from that?
It's basic.
It's basic in nature. Got this now? So that is a basic solution. So bases turn red litmus to blue. Bases turn red litmus to blue. Hope it should be clear. Okay, write down this thing if you haven't memorized it. Okay, write down this thing somewhere and make sure that you memorize it. Now, pay attention to this thing also. We have this magnesium hydroxide solution. So let us take it in a beaker. You have taken that solution. This is magnesium. I'm writing in short. Okay, now MgOH42, that is magnesium hydroxide. Now, if I were to dip a red litmus paper in it, its color will be changing to blue. Getting now? I have dipped a red litmus paper in it, the color changed to blue. So now that is an indication that the given magnesium hydroxide is basic in nature, right? So we can say that it, meaning that magnesium hydroxide is basic in nature, is basic in nature. Okay, write down this thing. So this reaction here has been completed. Okay, now here it has been completed. By the way, you guys know like magnesium hydroxide, it is used as an anti-acid also. Razan, have you learnt of this? Anaman. This is used as an anti-acid also called as milk of magnesia. Hmm? Milk of magnesia is an anti-acid. Both of you listening to me now. Milk of magnesia is an anti-acid. So
Yes, sir.
that is the same thing that is magnesium hydroxide here. Okay, Razan, do let me know once you are done. Razan, what about you? You haven't got the syllabus, no? For
Yes,
your
sir.
you haven't got the syllabus for your upcoming exams, no?
Few I got.
For science, have you got?
Sign.
Just check it if you have got it.
Okay, 1 minute.
Mhm. Your maths exam is on 13th of September, right, Aman?
Yes, sir. Sir, do you teach maths?
Yes, last year I used to teach maths. This year I'm only teaching science.
So Sania ma'am also teaches both maths and science.
Mm-hmm. Lisan, do let me know once you're done writing all this. We're going to learn about a different reaction now.
No, sir, I only got English.
Okay, okay. Once you get it, do let me know. Okay, should we move to the next topic then? We're done with this.
No, no, sir.
Okay, write it quickly. Write down this quickly. So magnesium oxide was no, it was the new substance when magnesium was burnt. While magnesium hydroxide is the new substance when magnesium oxide was mixed with the water. Got this now?
Yes.
Mhm. After this, now we would be learning about reaction between the baking soda and the vinegar. Okay,
Finished, sir.
finished. Good.
Yes.
Okay, let us learn about this one. Or okay, let's learn in a sequence. Let's go on with this one. Okay, reaction between the copper sulfate and the iron. Okay, so like when an iron object, like for example an iron nail, when it is kept immersed in this blue colored solution of copper sulfate, then a chemical change takes place to form a green colored iron sulfate solution. And there's a brown deposition on the iron object which was placed earlier in the copper sulfate solution, right? So this is a chemical change because the color has changed here, and there's a deposition of the metal, a deposition of the copper on the iron here. That's why you can see like the copper, the iron has turned brownish here. Getting it now, both of you. So whenever we'll be dipping an iron object in a copper sulfate solution, so there will be the color of the copper sulfate, which is blue, it changes to here green here. Have a look at this video here, that will give you an idea. By the way, copper sulfate, it you can get it from market, like usually not available, but if someone sells it, so copper sulfate is available in the form of powder. So you have to mix, once you mix it in with water, it will turn into a blue solution. So let us look at this video. Notice how the color changed. This brown color, it was the copper that deposited over the iron. This is copper. Go through it once again. Look how the color of the copper sulfate solution also changes to greenish. Like, did it change greenish now? You can observe here, right? The color from blue changed to greenish. Getting it now?
Yes.
So here what happened that we had taken some copper sulfate. We have taken some powder of copper sulfate. We mixed it in water. After mixing it with water, we had the solution of copper sulfate. And as we dipped the iron object in it now, so thereby the chemical reaction took place. The chemical reaction took place in the following manner. 1 minute. What happened to this? Just 1 minute. Basically, look at the given reaction here. Okay, now look at the given reaction here. In the reaction, what we observe, copper sulfate has reacted with the iron to form iron sulfate solution, which is green, and copper is also formed, but the copper deposits over the iron object here. As you can see in the, just 1 minute, let me turn my camera on. So we had the copper sulfate solution, which is blue, and we have added iron in it. So this is a copper sulfate solution. The color of copper sulfate is blue. Keep that in mind. Plus, you have added an iron object in it. Let's say you have taken a iron blade like this, a shaving blade. Okay. So you have taken an iron and a copper sulfate solution. Then what happens? The color of the copper sulfate now changes to green in color. The color changes to greenish here. So why greenish? Because iron reacted with the copper sulfate to form iron sulfate now. Iron sulfate is not formed. Earlier it was copper sulfate. Iron replaced the copper and formed iron sulfate here. So copper will be depositing over that iron now. Okay, now so that iron would be now brownish in color like this. It would be a little bit brownish in color like this. Getting it now? So iron turns brown. Why it turns brown? Because a layer of copper deposits over it. So that is the reaction between the copper sulfate and iron. And that is considered as a chemical change because a new substance, copper sulfate, is formed here. And there's a deposition of copper on the iron. So thereby the iron object looks brown. Okay, now? So this is a chemical change because it produces two new substances. Namely, one is iron sulfate, that is green in color, and another one is the copper. Basically, copper will be depositing on the iron basically. So rather than saying this, like we can say that, we can say copper is formed and it gets deposited over the iron. Getting the point what I'm trying to make here. Razan and Aman. Copper is formed, but copper deposits over the iron. So iron will become brownish in color. Also, note down this thing that the copper sulfate solution, the copper sulfate solution, it is commonly known, and this copper sulfate solution is commonly called as blue vitriol. What do we call this commonly as? Blue vitriol. So copper sulfate solution is commonly called as blue vitriol. As blue vitriol. All right, now, or also like there are some Hindi words for it also, but not important. That is the thing. There's one more chemical change which we'll be doing in the next class, but as of now, you're going to write down the points which I will be telling you to write. Okay, so give the topic reaction between copper sulfate and iron.
Finished, sir.
Then start writing from here. Mix a teaspoon of copper sulfate in about half a cup of water in a glass tumbler or beaker. Just write down these ones which I'm going to mark here. This one, after this you will write this one. Just write down these two. Is Aman, you're done?
So just the last question, sir.
Okay, okay. So far, whatever we have learned, like we see chemical changes are important. They are very important in our lives. All the new substances which we use in various fields of our life, they are produced as a result of some chemical changes, some chemical reactions. Right now, like metals, they will be extracted from their naturally occurring compounds called as ores by a series of so many chemical reactions. Hmm. Like iron is extracted from iron ore by some chemical changes. Medicines are also prepared by carrying out so many different chemical changes. Okay, no? Or like some materials like plastics, soaps, perfumes, and detergents, bases, acids, and salts. All of these are some useful products that are uh, obtained by carrying out some form of chemical changes. Done writing these two.
Yes.
Okay. Now from the next page, you're going to write down this. Just write this one and this one. After that, just write down this reaction.
Yes, sir, I'm done, sir. I also sir
Uh-huh.
send the photos.
You have sent it. Okay, okay. So let me just see if they have sent it to me. If possible, I will be checking it now, although there's a class after this. Okay. So by the way, Aman, you will be requiring the extra class for which chapters? Like for the chapter light and for chapter
Sir,
um
light, sir, respiration and organisms.
mhm,
Sir, basically like sir for 3 chapters.
for 3 chapters. Okay. Motion and time, light and respiration, right?
No, sir, not motion and time, sir, nutrition and animal.
Nutrition and animal. Okay, okay. Do let the team know about this and at what time you will be available. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And you'll be like requiring a like 1 hour class or 1.5 hour class. Do let know these things to the team.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, maybe more than that.
Okay. 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 Done, Razan.
One last.
Okay. Also, make sure that whatever you're writing down, you keep revising all these things. Okay. Mhm.